Hey everybody, it's Rick again. Welcome back to making a base for a bobcat part 2. In this video I'm going to show you where I get what kind of materials I use and how I put it on the base and where I get it from. Okay, as you can see, I have several packets of materials that I have purchased from various places. Number one thing I use in finishing this up is a good hot glue gun. You can get these at most of your Walmarts or Dollar Trees or hobby shops. One of my favorite things I like to use is packets of leaves. These are made out of silk. Some of them have stems, some of them don't. You can also get a whole garland of leaves that you can incorporate on limbs and stuff. It's got a little circular type a stem on it that you can pull off the stem of the garland and incorporate that into a real limb. Second thing is what they call status. It's a dried plant material. It's real brittle, but however, it looks more like a natural weed out in the wild. You can take this bunch of this stuff and take an airbrush and paint it various colors, and then seal it with a sealer. Packets of moss. You can get all kinds of sheep moss at various places. I like to buy most of this stuff at places like Walmart and Dollar Trees and dollar stores. You can get real good buys on all this stuff. Same thing with these little plastic type plants or silk type plants. If they're real shiny, you can tone them down with the airbrush and mist them and change colors on them. You can cut them different shapes. You can even pull these apart and use just the grasses that's in them. There's a number of things. You don't have to use the whole stem. I rarely use the whole stem. I always pull them apart and cut them apart and reshape them and redo them. Another thing you can use is natural leaves that you pick up off the ground or off of a tree. I'll show you in another video how to preserve those. I've used those a lot of times, and I'm planning on doing another video on collecting natural plant life and how to dry it. Now, what I'm going to start doing is putting some of my status down, and I'm not going to do this in large amounts. I'm going to do this just one piece at a time. And I like to use a big needle of some sort and just find some of the little out-of-the-way places to stick this. And what I'm going to do is just poke me a little hole in here. I don't even glue anything down. I leave the status in this dried, natural state. I'll use some of them don't even have greenery on them. It's just little sticks. I want something I try to get everything as natural as I possibly can get it to look. Sometimes you may have a little piece here and there. I'm just going to lay it down and drop it where I think it looks natural. I'm going to go ahead and just put various pieces down in various places. Sometimes I'll clump some of this together, but not at one time. I will put a hole in and I'll stick maybe one here, and I'll create another hole and stick another one there. And I'll just continue to do this, make it look like a small bunch, but not clumped together. And to me, this looks, a little bit more natural than just putting a big wad of stuff together. Now, if some of it's very loose, you can take you some super glue or some Elmer's glue or something, and just put it on the stem and let it drain down the stem. Small pieces like this, you may want to clump a few of them together. Can't get this one to work, but Another thing you need to keep in mind is I try to incorporate this stuff right along the edge of logs and things. It looks like that's been buried or settled into the ground, just to give it the effect of something that has been there a long time, and greenery has, or vegetation has had grown and then died. And I try to give these effects. I do right much in the front, and I also incorporate a lot of stuff in the back too. Now, next I'm going to start placing some of my leaves in various places. I tried to imagine how these leaves are going to fall, and I will place them before I hot glue them, just to get them just a way, just a certain way I want this to look. You don't have to use the same type of leaf. You can use different color leaves, different types of makes of leaves, or various ones. Here's a different one. It's a little maple type leaf. And once I get these leaves incorporated in this thing, I'll go back over it with my hot glue gun and glue them down. I like using these leaves because it just gives it a splash of color. It's eye-catching. Most of my customers really like this. You can take a poorly mounted piece and spruce it up with some splashes of color like this and some greenery. Doesn't take a whole lot to really enhance the thing, but it just makes a big difference. And you don't want to take away from the piece itself, but from your mount, but you just incorporate and adds some realism to the situation, or to the mount. Now, once I get everything the way I want it, I'm going to go over these leaves with a hot glue gun, and all we're going to do, I like to stick it directly to the leaf itself and just do a small amount, just about so, and just stick it right back where I had it, or somewhere similar. I place these leaves right side up, upside down. I also overlap them if I can, or just give you the idea of it being, free floating and falling from a tree, and they stuck where they hit. Hopefully this will be pleasing to the eye. Pleasing to the customer, that's the big thing. Now, as you can see, I've added a lot more leaves to the ground. I've added just a little bit of greenery more, a few tassels. Other than that, I'm not going to overpower the thing, but I just wanted to add this color and possibly emulate, I guess you could say, or the forest floor. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Hopefully